Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to all many viewers and listeners around the globe. And I say this because I know there are folks in other parts of the world who actually let me know they're attuned to the program. And that's why I send out salutations to certain persons who I know are already logged on and really appreciate voices. You're logged on to Win FM 98.9 and there's Voices Online. So my name is Socrates. Today is Friday, the last day of August. If we wake up tomorrow, we'll be stepping into September. Imagine that, right? He is passing us by. And we have to count our blessings every day. We, breathe breath for another brand new day. So here's what. We're going to do what we normally do first, give credit to our sponsors without whom this show will not be possible. And when we come back, we're going to have a wonderful Friday morning on Here in Voices. We got from now until 1:30. So the lines will be open for a little chit-chat. It's going to be free for all. So see you guys on the other side.
Hardware Hustle. That's right. Buy any 2 gallons of Budget Paint from participating hardware stores for a chance to win a shopping spree in a hardware store valued at $1,000. Visit BudgetPaintsCaribbean.com on how you can enter. Promotion ends August 31st. See Budget Caribbean on Facebook and Instagram for details. Yes! Budget for lasting beauty and protection.
So once again, good morning. Welcome back for another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, and I'm in the hot seat today. The lines are automatically open for those who want to make a contribution. Any topic you want to introduce is all yours today. And another fantastic Friday, and this is my double slice of paradise. I'm going to just glean through a couple of headlines that have some positive results. I know Jamster. By the way, Jam says the man at the controls. We know there was a search for a young lady who went missing, to use that phrase. On Wednesday, when I left here, I got to the circus, and very respected taxi operator, female, asked me about this young lady who went missing. And I said I hadn't really heard of anyone gone missing. I know there was an incident at a certain home for young people, and there were some persons who went, well, they said they escaped. This young lady happened to be among them. Against the backdrop of all the negative news we've been having here in SKN, there was a lot of justifiable concern. Well, yesterday I saw a report that the young lady has been found. She was actually found on Nevis. I won't go into the details of her name, her age. She was 15 years old. So she has been found over in Nevis. Her grandmother was the one sounding the alarm. I think she claimed that she was not notified that her granddaughter went missing. So the good news on all that is that the young lady has been found. Amen to that. To glance another headline, we have something out of Antigua, which speaks to PM Gaston Brown. And it reads, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown follows former St. Kitts PM Dr. Timothy Harris lead in engaging gangs for peace. Some time ago, I mentioned a similar venture that took place in Barbados, and I was more or less castigated by one of my very respected callers. I don't have all the details, so I really can't go into this to speak to it, but that is one of the things out there. I may get a call from China. There are 12 hours ahead of us. It's now actually 11 o'clock here. It's 11 o'clock in China. It's actually 7 minutes past. And I was speaking to a young lady who is visiting there. She's from Antigua. She's actually been here in the studio with us, Petra Williams, and quite the personality. She used to live here at one point when she worked at Central Bank, so she knows St. Kitts very well. During her last visit, she was heaping praise on St. Kitts, the roads, the cleanliness of St. Kitts. Now, she's from a neighboring island, and she says, St. Kitts, when it comes to the cleanliness, the road infrastructure, she was very, very pleased with what she saw here. During a conversation yesterday, she's in China now for about maybe 2 weeks. And of course, they're going on a variety of tours. 2 days ago, they went to the Great Wall and different aspects. Historic point, they went to Tiananmen Square, blah, blah, blah. She was here last year, Peter Williams. Was it this year? We're now in September, so it could have been this year. Yes, correct. So we talking yesterday, and she's telling me now, in making mental comparisons with the Caribbean and China, St. Kitts once again jumps out to her mind as to how clean it is. Well, okay, China is very clean. It reminds her of St. Kitts. There's certain aspects of the service that she gets there. It reminds her of Barbados. Now well, no, in terms of the service, the level of service, hospitality is good. But I recall some years ago, a tourist told me she had been to Barbados several times. And she's seen it change to the point where the Bajans now take the tourist for granted. And in coming to St. Kitts, she says, St. Kitts reminded her of Barbados 20 years ago. When Barbados was more courteous, right, more friendly, etc., etc. So she herself was making the comparisons. St. Kitts is in a very good standing when it comes to the service providers. Now we're going to have glitches here and there. But generally, and from the transportation department, the taxi report has been very good. So it was instructive to hear of someone now in China impressed with the cleanliness and the orderliness of society in China. And it jumps out to her, St. Kitts jumps out to her as being one of the cleanest. I mean, like, you're getting all the negative news out there and you hear something like that. Man, it perks you up. And it lets you know that you're doing something right. Now, in China, the garbage collectors, they make the separations there on site. Like one truck comes up and they take out all the food items because they're recycling is a big thing. They remove all the food items from the dumpsters. Another truck comes up and remove all the items that are to be recycled. Another one comes up and whatever. So what goes to the dump is what can't be recycled or whatever, but they're separated at the point of collection. Now, we are not in a position to recycle on any commercial level. There are a couple of bins in the Independence Square where there are different compartments. One for like plastic items, the recycling whole issue. So we are there. We're looking at it, and our practices on a much smaller scale compared to China. But it makes you want to big up your chest when you hear, well, St. Kitts. A person is in China, and the cleanliness of China reminds her of what she experienced here in St. Kitts. I hope she gives me a call. We discuss that. But it's 11. It's after 11 in China, and she gotta get her sleep in. So there is that. There is that, and I thought I would share it with the public. Because we have a lot that we take for granted. By the way, again, I left Sandy Point this morning. It was lots of rain, and I get to the city, and it's humid. It's it's still overcast, but a bit humid. But it is the fact that as of tomorrow, we step into September, and that's the month where the system, the weather patterns, the hurricane system, really more, I would say, targets St. Kitts and Nevis. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and be mindful of the fact that we're still in the hurricane season. We have to take all the precautions and make sure that things are in a state of readiness. Let's see if we can take the first call of the day. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hi, good morning, Socrates.
Sister Henry, always a blessing hearing your voice. Good morning.
Good morning to all women abroad.
Okay.
I think you got thanks for today,
First and foremost.
Yes, God has been good. God has been good.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was my last daughter's birthday, Aisha Henry.
Happy belated.
Oh, yes. And my house was full yesterday. Had her and her 3 children and the newborn great-grand.
Man, you're being showered, man. You have to enjoy it.
Yeah, but I tell you, I believe in this Bible thing, Deuteronomy 28 says, the fruit of your womb blessed.
Mm-hmm.
They shall be the head and not the tail, above and not below. And a lot of other blessings go there. If you will hear and do what the Lord say.
A lot also have to do with how you relate with your family members. A lot has to do also with how you relate with your family members.
Well, that got to do with it. Because he said, love God, love your neighbor. Honor your father and your mother and everything. Some of us just skip over them. He said, if you will do and obey all that the Lord say, which means all of that, then you will get the blessing. He said, but if you rebel and you refuse, you will get the sword and all the other curses. So the choice is ours, eh?
Yes.
I always bless my children because the other people out there who will curse them, eh?
Yep.
So you bless and you talk to them and you chastise. I just say who vex. And nobody is my bread and my water. Anyway, good morning to all the listeners. Good morning, Rosemary.
Yeah, she's locked on.
I appreciate all that she has done for us, she and her group.
Yep.
And all the other groups who have done anything for the disabled.
Well, she doesn't have a group, except her daughter, sister from time to time, but she don't have a group.
I know, but I said all the other groups.
Okay, you said she and her group.
All the other persons.
All right.
But there are a number of persons who reach out, reach out to help other people. Well, here we go. I hope Kalanja listening.
Go ahead.
Let me start by stating my position. In university, in my final year, I did a course called The Economic Transformation of the Economy, which is a Marxist course, eh?
Okay.
It shows you how to transform the economy from a capitalist one to a socialist, Marxist one, communist one. While many of the ideas sound good, because you see what my good friend Kalanje is proposing is not nothing on the African, It is, he's trying to form and create a socialist party here. Nothing wrong with that, but to come and say, oh, let us all get together. What is wrong with it is who holds and wields the power. You are given the impression that you, the proletariat, as they are called, right?
Yep.
Have the power, you don't have the power. If you got the head committee or whatever, making the rules, and the suppression. This is what turns me off, the suppression of people's opinion. It is widely known that in a socialist and a communist country, you either conform or, as Rasta say, you either for us or against us.
Okay, yep.
Now, that is a powerful statement if you don't know the practicality of it, you know. If you're not for us, if you don't conform, if you don't accept, then you are treated as the enemy.
Yep.
And how do you deal with your enemy? You eliminate them. Plain and simple, you see, because I could call in and whatnot.
Yep.
If my good friend Kalanje was to, I'll have to shut up my mouth or take me prison. In these societies, hundreds of people, in fact, they usually start with the colleges and the universities. All the educated people, they get rid of you.
The thinkers.
They don't want to think of, they just want actors. So people are being deceived. Oh, you know, we must all get together. Well, and imagine before it starts, they already nominate themselves. You ever hear of us?
Interesting take.
Oh, we have our senator. He said, well, who nominate you? Who vote for you? You remember somebody asked about democracy and voting?
Yes, it was
What is
yeah, go ahead.
What is democracy and people? So all sucked in. Please be warned. I mean, some people have nothing to say, you know. They live in such fear that they're afraid to speak. But unless you speak, nothing will change. So please, and now you can answer.
So do you at least give him kudos for speaking?
But he's misinforming the people. You know, they talk about disinformation and misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had a lecture, I give a joke, I had a lecturer, he died the other day, Richard Bernal. Richard Bernal, he taught me that course. This man who wrote Plantation Economy.
Okay.
And Dr. Michael Witter. And one day, you know, talking about, you know, and in Cuba. So one day I challenged him. I said, would you go to Cuba to live? He said, me? Yeah, me?
Interesting.
I like to talk my mind. It's the lecturer, you know.
I see.
Because when you start out, well, those who not for us against us, well, what kind of state is that? What kind of state is that? So they camouflage in this African story to control our people. Who dare you to nominate yourself? Who gave you the power to decide what we must believe? What he needs to do to educate the people. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
The people say, this is what it would bring. This what don't be. Oh, every time. If we're not for us, you're against us. Well, unless you're stupid. Unless you're a fool, you would never join with Kalanja them.
Well, I challenge him on what he's advocating because the platform that he's trying to push is not here. I ask him oftentimes, who are your listeners? Where's the audience? And he says, it's time we come together. It's time we come. Who's the we?
That is it.
And he was trying to tell me that
because
in the
remember,
U.S.
I mean, when you say, you know, and the senators are this republic and something, it's all poor and the uneducated suffer, you know. They are suppressed. Because I tell people, as much as I might like Castro, don't tell me that after 60 years you're still locking up people for expressing their opinion.
That was my take when I was in Cuba. That was my take.
So long, people tell me the people afraid to talk to you.
I know. I experienced it.
So I'm telling you, so what good is that?
Even when you try to offer them, you know, they were so kind. Even when you try to offer them things, they were afraid to take it. They were this big.
Because they don't know
the trust. Right. Paranoia.
I used to teach Marxist economics here, you know, some people may not know. But some of those who I taught, because I studied it in university. And when I came back here, I taught Marxist economics. So all the thing they're talking about, the theory sound good, you understand? Because when you look at how capitalism really, the greed and the going after the profit, it is not very desirable. But at least you could talk your mind and revolt if you want, but...
Not in those societies.
You know? There's a story of the dog and the maga dog and the big fat dog. So one day this maga dog was walking and he passed, looking for something to eat. And he passed by, saw this big fat dog in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, how you come so fat? He said, well, my master takes care of me, feed me very well.
Mm-hmm.
But then he realized that the dog had on a collar. and he was tied to the dog house. So he said, well, what is that around your neck? He said, my master loved me, so he give it to me. The maga dog said, look, I'd rather be maga.
Mm-hmm. Let me change.
And be free than to be fat and tied up. So that is what my good friend Kalanje is offering. So Kalanje, you can't pull that on me. People like me, I gone in. I gone in.
If you're not with them, you're against them, so you're gone in.
I gone in because I can talk my mind. I will talk my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say, well, capitalism is the best, so that is the best. As my good friend Gregory say, the Bible tell him so, the Bible tell him so. But seriously, we got to be careful with what Kalanja say. I'm talking about the natural, I'm challenging body, he said no. I said, what you're preaching is socialism. Oh, no, Miss Henry. So all who looking, you want, start with your neighbor black. Start with the school near you, your school children black. Oh, so that trying to cover up the Pan-African movement. Because everybody don't subscribe to that.
Sadly, no.
And he was asked about the military thing, the takeover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. But what is that? If all the military take over the governments, what are you living under? They got the guns, they got the arm. You either shut up or you plan your own funeral. So I hope you heard me. Good morning, my good friend, Journey. Don't let them fool you,
He's working at the moment.
Yes, so he might be listening. But
he really misses. He's that they're preparing.
That's good, cause
he really misses the program, yeah.
Well, maybe that's good for him, because he has been blaspheming and telling boy, you need to go pick up the blaspheme.
Blaspheming?
You don't know the word.
I know what you mean, but you're saying when he called, what you say, that's blasphemy?
He had been trying to convert me. You tell him, you're late. My good friend had been trying to say, boy, you're late. I have read and studied all of these things. So and even when you all speak, I go on my phone and I look them up. God, the Bible says, study to show yourself approved. Rightly dividing the word of truth. You got to divide the word rightly. And you need to know the history. I mean, the Marxist thing, it's so very good for oppressed people.
It's on paper.
They
looks good on paper.
Oppress you. All right, so I'm going to hang up now. Oh, by the way, you said today the last day. That's not so. Today the 30th, because my daughter, but it was the 29th, today the 30th. Tomorrow will be the 31st.
Oh, yes. I was thinking September.
So tomorrow is not the 1st of September.
I was thinking September. My apologies. Yes, you're correct.
You hurry.
I was, thinking we're not into September
and,
yet.
let me send my condolences out to my family in Anguilla. My brother will be buried tomorrow.
Yes, you had that in mind also when you said there were folks at your house?
Stony Grove. I don't even know anything about Anguilla. All I know
was Stony Grove in Anguilla?
I landed on the airport twice coming from St. Thomas. He will be buried in Stony Ground, Mena Wayaho. The funeral will be in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. I forgot the name of the church. The funeral at 10 o'clock in the morning. Some people going down.
Okay.
So take heart. He live long and he live well. He's 81.
He batted very well. You have to appreciate that.
Yeah, Yeah. When you live so long and you ain't got nobody ain't got an excuse.
And if you die serving the Lord that you choose, you're good to go.
But he tells some people depart from they never know you, you know.
Yeah,
if you
but
walk in iniquity, God ain't know you neither.
I am saying if you
Anyway,
die serving the God that you choose,
come.
that you're good to go.
He said, if you walk in iniquity, I don't know you. So you could be the pastor, the preacher, the teacher. You got to be living according to what he says.
Okay.
So enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you very much for being the first caller. You're the opening bat, so let's see what happens after. We'll take a station break at the moment, and when we come back, we'll continue. Good morning to you, Rosemary. Good morning to you, Brenda.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Need some extra cash to make your summer dreams come true? Look no further than TDC Financial Services Live Your Dream this summer loan promotion. With up to $65,000 unsecured and up to 8 years to repay, our summer loan promotion is your ticket to that dream vacation, home renovation, or anything else your heart desires. Applying is easy, so why wait? Take advantage of TDC Financial Services Live Your Dream this summer loan promotion today and make this summer one to remember.
Fruta full of vitamin thing. Real fruit juice, no full of vitamin. Pop open the goodness, just dive in. Fruta every night, fruta every morning.
It's the amazing taste and quality in fruit juice you've come to know and love. Anytime, anywhere, any occasion. Fruta is your tastier, better, healthier choice.
We got the vibes, fruta. Real nice, fruta.
And for the families, remember to pick up the 1 liter.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Once again, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the program. I was trying to find a clip, Jamster, of a house visit Dr. Drew played yesterday to a gentleman who clocked 103. You have a call? Okay, let's take this call. Good day, caller, 11 voices.
Good day, Socrates. Good morning to you. Greetings in Jesus' name once more again.
Okay.
And
did you hear your name call?
Yeah. If I heard my name call?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Miss Henry mention my name, saying that I don't know which Bible tell me so, but yeah, but I did not know what she was referring to, so I can't really comment.
It wasn't anything specific.
Yeah, well, I get that. But like I tell people, you know, all you have to do what the Bereans did to Paul when Paul went to them, and he was, I would say, Paul was the godliest man.
Do what the who?
Earth, outside of Jesus. Do what the Bereans did to Paul.
Bereans.
Paul commend them. Yeah, Paul commend them for listening to him and going to the Word to check out from the Word that what if he said was true or not.
Okay.
But then again, you have to know the Word your own self in order to check out if somebody is in line with the Word or not. So that's all I tell people to do when I talk, Just go to the Bible and see if what I'm saying is true or not. Now, yeah, the God of the Bible is the one only true God, Almighty, the only true living God. The God of the Bible is such, and all other gods are false, based upon the truth of the Bible. Now, what I would like to say is that, as Miss Henry was speaking about Rascalangi. Yep. And him saying that, he have a one-party state, but his choice of economics, as he has always said, is socialism, communism. Now, what a lot of people do not realize is that, you see, and this is why we always go wrong, and in the end up in dictatorship, tyranny, authoritarianism, despotism, dictatorship, you name it. This is why we always end up in such. And you see the wisdom of the Bible. When it comes to government, civil government, the Bible instructs us what kind of civil government we should have, the powers and the limits and authorities of civil government. And the God-given duties to civil governments are very, very few and very, very, very limited. So that outrule Marxism, socialism, communism, fascism, planned economy, regulated economy. It outrule all of those things as they are anti-biblical. And they always, in the long run, end up in dictatorship, tyranny, despotism, authoritarianism, and you name all of those evils. All of those systems always ends up in such. The only one that avoids all of such is free market capitalism as taught in the Bible. But we ignore and we disobey the Bible to our own ruin, destruction, and to our own undoing and disaster. You see, Socrates, the Bible teaches that man, all men, of course the exception is Jesus Christ, but that all men are born with an evil, wicked, sinful nature that we all inherited from Adam. And because of that, the more power man have, his evil, wicked heart going to, in the end, always use it for destruction, for ruin, for disaster, and so on. Because that is man's heart. Man's heart is based upon is evil and wicked, and therefore he cannot deal with power. And because he cannot deal with power, that's why the Bible limits the power of government. And not only that, but the Bible also said the only people who should be in government, the Bible tells us, in more ways than one, is people who are filled with the Holy Spirit of God, people who are filled with the knowledge of the Word of God concerning all areas of life, including government, economics, and politics, and so on.
Describe a perfect society for me, please.
Describe a perfect society?
If you were to transform St. Kitts from what it is now into your idea, your concept of, I won't say religious society, but one where God supersedes everything else.
Well, like I said, if people think that what I'm saying is my opinion or idea, go to the Bible and see what the Bible, see if what I say is backed up by the Bible.
Where did you find that in history existed and survived?
Well, in history, we know that you had such in biblical history at some periods in Israel history.
And what happened to it?
Those godly men ruled Israel.
What happened to that society?
Okay. Eh?
What happened to those society? Why did they not thrive and survive? Why did they not thrive and survive?
At the time when Israel had those godly leaders, Israel thrived and prospered. Now Israel, because they turned their back on God, God destroyed them. God punished them. God sent them in slavery and all sorts of other punishments. But and that is when they turned from God.
These societies that you spoke about committed so many atrocities on mankind in the name of religion. If you didn't conform, if you did not conform to the dictates, biblical, whatever it is, they destroy you.
But did they get the actions and decisions from the Bible? That's my question. And the answer is no.
In many of the instances, you find God present in the actions. Ask him to wipe out the Philistines, wipe out this. You got a label, and you wipe them out.
Right. But that was only limited to the promised land. That was not to be a worldwide thing. And yes, whatever God says is right.
Do you accept, or would you, that the King James Version that we take to govern ourselves is not the complete Bible? Is that incomplete document?
Again, the King James Version, just like all other translations of the Bible, including the English translations, even before the King James Version, they are all imperfect. What is perfect is what was originally written by the prophets and apostles of God.
Where are those
the
copies?
original language of God. And we have copies. We have copies of such materials.
Old Testament?
Of the Old and the New Testament. We have copies in the original languages that was originally written by the prophets and apostles of God. And because of those many copies, we can reconstruct what was originally written.
You're guessing?
And then off of that, Bible translations are made based upon the scholars them and so on.
Okay.
Reconstruct what was originally written. So that's how you get the King James versions, and that's how you get all the other translations in the different languages. But it goes back to what was originally written, and we have copies of what was originally written.
It's instructive that two of the main callers that speaks about religion and the Bible, which is would be yourself and Sister Henry. You find so many difference of opinions as to how we are to live and what is actually the law. It's instructive.
Again, all to do Socrates is just go to the Bible and see
the same Bible that she goes to.
Speaking according to the Bible.
Is that the same Bible that she reads and speaks of?
Well, we both read the King James versions. But
so how is it that you have this divergence?
No, because Socrates, I not only read translation. I read Bible dictionaries. I read what would take me back to the original language, based my studies on what was written originally.
One would think that she's also widely read.
The standard.
One would think that she's also very widely read.
Well, all I can say is that take what both of us and anybody else say and go back to the Word of God, studies, see what it says in the original languages. So we have many tools and the market today that can help you with that, and see who is speaking according to the Bible and who is not.
Okay, so the first call out of the morning, I have different opinion as to how we ought to live, right?
In its original form is the only standard upon which everything stands or falls.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Okay, thank you too.
All right, what do you have to say, Anguilla?
I say you will full.
What about the report about the athletes on Navy's there? You gonna call into the station with that for me?
What's the number for the station?
466-0989. We having this call? 466-0989. Let's call and have the report, okay? I expect a call from Anguilla, so if you call now, Jamster will patch you through. Yes, we entertain just about everyone, and there are those who would tell me, well, is that call? Who? Okay, hey, Big Eustace, how are we doing? Good morning, sir, how are we doing? Long time to see. Hope you're here for Independence at least, if not here for Carnival. Okay. That would have come in the chat, so we're glad to know that you're logged on and you're still attuned with what's going on in Federation. So let's begin to get a call from from Anguilla. But okay, let's do that, please. Let's take a station break, and then we return. We can probably entertain that caller. So we give credit to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better That's the familiar sound of the school bell ringing to let you know that class is in session. Listen up, class. Let your parents know that the place to shop for your back-to-school essentials is the TDC Home and Building Depot in St. Kitts and City Drugstore Nevis Limited. Get up to 30% off backpacks, notebooks, pens, pencils, school bundles, printers, and more. And while they're there, be sure to have them ask about the tech tools for teachers so we can help you achieve even more success. And remind them about Flash Sale Fridays, when you can receive even more savings just in time for the new school year. Now you know. See you at TDC Home and Building Depot and City Drugstore Nevis Limited. Class is now dismissed. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Hey guys, welcome back to the program. Expect a call from Anguilla. Hope she gets in. But in the meantime, let me just reflect on something that happened some years ago. This comes off of what we'll discuss with Sister Henry this morning. My 2 weeks in Cuba, but sometime after that, I was touring some folks here from Venezuela. And they were praising St. Kitts, how developed it was, etc. And I mentioned that we were getting economic aid from Venezuela, from Hugo Chavez. Remember the Petrocaribe thing and all that? Yeah? And they were really, really ticked off. They were saying, look at the quality of your houses here in St. Kitts. Look at this, look at that. And in Venezuela, we're not getting that. We're not getting that. Now, Cuba has contributed tremendously to the social and economic development of many of the Caribbean islands in terms of scholarships for students that help many of our nationals achieve doctorates in the field of medicine and other fields. It's been tremendous. You can't stop that. But being there, I spent 2 weeks in Cuba some years ago, and it was really an education for me. The people that you were interacting with, they were very paranoid. They didn't know who you were. They didn't trust anybody. And so they were so kind-hearted and giving, etc., to the point that you wanted to give them back something. And they were afraid to take it. They were afraid to take it. They thought it might be some form of entrapment. Right? And I was thinking, Castro, you would have made your point. You would have made your point in terms of standing up to the America and, what they did to you, the embargo and how they were crippling your economy. You would have made your point. It was difficult yet because you had infiltration, you had all the different things, and you were with a heavy hand. Whatever you had to do, you would have done. You would have made your point. Let the people enjoy the same freedoms that I enjoy. I could go from Basse to Sandy Point without having to get permission. I can go and secure a passport and travel the world without getting permission. They can't. So in that state, that Kalanji, or Mr. was referring to that, he's actually referring to a socialist state. There's a good and a bad. On paper, it looks good. The community as a whole benefits. No one person is above the other. Today, you're a doctor working in the office. Tomorrow, you're working in the field. Everybody shares communally, and that's how it's supposed to be, on paper. But then you have no say. There's no such thing as democracy, and you expressing your opinions or going into free enterprise. Everything is governed by the state. They determine everything. So, as in Venezuela, well, back then, when Chavez ruled, there were programs in place where the average person didn't have a lot of say. As a matter of fact, I said when they came here to St. Kitts and were so much impressed with development, and I mentioned the aid we were getting from Venezuela back then, they couldn't understand it. They were really, really angry. But it happens. It happens, and what I would say, that we have to, here in St. Kitts, Nevis, and around the Caribbean, those of us who enjoyed democracy, have to be very mindful of what we have. Now, with the Haiti situation now, We have, over the many, many decades, hundreds of years, treated the people who were in fact, but de facto, our liberators. Their policies, the revolution, that slave rebellion worked towards our liberation. But yet we take sides now with the former controllers, the slave masters. We take their narrative about Haiti and we treat them with disdain. So are we a confused people? Yes, we are. Not knowing a history is a very, very sad part of what fuels our behavior. And I don't see any way around that right now. I don't see any way around that. So we run to the Americas, we run to Europe, and we applaud the economy, etc., but not realizing how much that is fueled by the exploitation of Haiti. The need is there for us to educate ourselves, re-educate ourselves, and be informed. So when Kalanji comes and he's talking about we as a people, have to do this, I'm asking, who's the we? We are so fractured in terms of our outlook. The younger folks in school, they have a different agenda for themselves. They're not thinking African unity, Caribbean unity, etc. So when you said to me that over 50 million blacks in the U.S. are trying to achieve the independence, a state of independence in the U.S., I don't see it. I don't see it. They're fighting for social upliftment, equality, etc. in the same society, in the same America, and they claim America. They accept the label of African Americans. Now, the few who see themselves as revolutionary and they're fighting against that structure, I applaud it. I applaud them. You spoke about the imprisonment of the many who are now voiceless. It's a sad fact, a sad reality. So, as I've asked you many times, what's your platform? Who are you reaching out to? Who's receptive to what you're saying? And you're saying it's time with this, it's time with that, it's time with that. And I appreciate the efforts that you're making. I really do. But I don't know. And then you have Sister Henry with a different point of view. You have Greg with a different point of view. So even as you come up the gate, you have these challenges. That cause you not to be coming. Let's see. Okay. Somebody let me know they're baking. Anyway, once again, morning to Chris Collins up there. Thank you once again for your contribution. Okay, let me see. I have something here from a contributor. You can find it. This says, no, that's not it. That's not it. I was trying to find something that sent to me recently. Well, let's see if this is it. It says, good morning. Concerning interpretations of the Bible, there will always be difference, as none of us are God perfect. Remember, for example, many doctors study the same at the same universities, yet they give us different diagnosis for the same pain or condition. Food for thought, makes sense. Let me read it again. Good morning. Concerning interpretations of the Bible, there will always be differences, as none of us are God perfect. Remember, for example, many doctors study at the same universities, yet they give us different diagnoses for the same pain or condition. So this, by extension, would explain the many denominations that are preaching the same gospel, good news of Christ. But just about everyone you're going to have a different interpretation. That's too many. But I take your point. I take your point. And then you're advised, don't go to this church, don't go to that one. And even here in Small Sinkers, there are many, many different denominations preaching the same thing. So I guess you have to find what works for you. Try not to get bogged down in the religion of it. And worship your God, have a one-on-one relationship. And for example, I call her name oftentimes Rosemary Donald. Don't go to any church. But she's steadfast in her worship of a Creator. The lifestyle she live, kind to others, etc., respectful, and she praises the God. But it goes in a church. Let's take this call, see if we can get Angola online. Good day, call your live on Voices.
Yeah, greetings, my brother Socrates. Pleasant good morning to you.
Okay, you're responding. Good morning to you.
Yeah, I'm here listening, and it's amazing. But what I'm saying, right, I didn't hear all what Miss Henry said.
Okay.
But point out to me in a historical way where communism or socialism has done anything to our people.
Our people here in St. Kitts?
Huh?
Our people here in St. Kitts, you mean?
Throughout the globe.
Or black people?
Black people in particular.
So you're challenging her to find an example where communism or socialism has affected our people negatively?
Yeah, even enslave. Let me make it more specific. Enslave our people.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for instance, the United States invaded Haiti in 1915. When did socialism come to the Soviet Union or Russia? 1917. So who they were fighting?
1970?
Huh?
1970 socialism came to Russia?
Yeah.
What was the system before?
1917.
Oh, 17. Oh.
Yeah, 1917.
I thought you said 1970. My mistake. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right? The United States invaded Haiti again in 1915. So they were fighting communism? Because back then, when they had the Haitian Revolution, they look upon Haiti just like how they're looking upon the...
That was 1791. That was 1791.
Yeah. Yes.
But it began then.
The revolution took place in 1804.
No, it ended in 84. It started in 1791.
Yes. But what I'm saying to you, there wasn't a communist country or socialist country when they invaded Haiti. They invaded Haiti in 1915.
That was after the embargo, which was the 150-year embargo.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Haiti had to pay reparation for liberating itself.
To France.
Yeah, exactly.
But the loan was crafted in the World Bank in New York at a very high.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, listen what I'm saying, follow what I'm saying to you. There was no communist country or government when they invaded Haiti. Haiti was looked upon as a communist country, not in the sense that it was communist, but it was a threat to the establishment, to the imperialist forces. So the same way they look upon communism is the same way they was looking upon Haiti. That's the point I'm making.
Do you recall the year that Haiti sent troops to fight in the American Revolution?
I know that's exactly. But the point I'm making to you is that Haiti was a force to be reckoned with, so they see it as a threat, just like how they see Russia or China as a threat today. The same thing they did to Haiti is what I want to do to Russia and China. But the difference with Russia and China have nuclear weapons. That is the only difference.
The Black Stallion sang about that, I was asking Jamster if you know the song called Ism Schism, where it says you must have a nuclear weapon in order to defend your schism.
You know, South Africa had nuclear weapons?
No.
Yeah, they had to give it up in the negotiations for apartheid to fall. South Africa, they get nuclear weapons for Israel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
correct, yes.
You know what I mean? And these things are documented. I'm not making up nothing. Anything I tell you, you can prove it. I mean, we people gotta get real. The problem with our people, we don't know our story.
That is the sad part about it. That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something. You know, America invaded Russia after the revolution.
Which revolution?
In the Soviet Union, in Russia, in 1917, France, England, the United States, and Japan, they invaded Russia after the revolution, but they were defeated. You see, people don't know these things. That's the point I'm making. They also...
We lost him. Ross, it appears that we lost you for one reason or the other, but if you get a chance, we've got about 3 minutes before we break for the Win FM's midday newscast. So if you get back in before, that'll be great. But it's good that you were able to respond because it helps with the debate, your platform. And my question to you would have been now, what's the correlation? What's the correlation with the what's what I'm looking for now? African liberation. Let's take this call before we go. But they call you live on Voices.
Good day. I finally got in.
I'm glad you kept trying. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Graf. Good morning.
Well, you got about 2 minutes, so let's hear. Go ahead.
The good news is the medals are not here, but they're in Nevis.
Can I get some more volume from you, please, from your end? You're a bit soft.
I said the medals are not here.
What medals?
But they're in Nevis, the medals from the track meet during Culturama.
Okay, so how many persons, how many islands participated in that?
Anguilla, Antigua, a few from St. Kitts, Nevis.
And so you had to leave, those who won medals had to leave Nevis without the medals.
Yeah,
it's been how, like a month after, 2 months after? How long was it?
If you remember at the ceremony when they were giving out medals, when Cleo got her medal, they took it back. So I was like, what's going on? And then a lady was like, oh, the medals are not here. Yeah, so they gave them temporary medals, and I guess they thought the medals would have come sooner, but the medals hopefully should get to Anguilla by the 1st of September.
That's Sunday?
Yeah, on Sunday.
Okay.
Because there's some folks coming back who went on vacation, and they're coming back on Sunday. So the medals should hopefully be back here on Sunday.
Okay. Because of the timing, we've got about a minute before we pause for the Win FM newscast. Give me a call back after if you can, and give me some more details because people are wondering what it's all about. So if you can, give me a call, and we'll take it from there as we now pause for the presentation of Win FM's midday newscast.
No problem.
Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the Win FM headline news, I am Yolanda Weeks. Featuring in our headlines, police explains they are protective of juveniles' identity and privacy. St. Kitts Nevis Patriots wins the first 2024 CPL game. The details and more straight ahead. Police confirmed that teens broke out of the New Horizon Rehabilitation Center in St. Kitts. Though the story circulated on social media that several teens ran away and were last seen on August 16, the police or officials at the center did not alert the public when it happened. However, greater interest in the matter emerged when one of the teens could not be found after nearly 2 weeks. The police issued a missing person bulletin on August 26. At the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force press conference on August 29, Deputy Commissioner Cromwell Henry said the police did not inform the public that the teens ran away to protect their identity and privacy.
These are juveniles, and we are always very protective of juveniles who are in this position, who have run afoul with the law. We are protective of their privacy, and we do not want to have them portrayed in public as escapees from a detention center or criminals.
The Commissioner James Sutton gave the reminder that everything that is posted on the internet is likely to remain there for life, so it is important to protect the children.
We have to bear in mind, when something is placed on the internet, it's there forever.
Exactly.
And that's something where we are cognizant of. So we had ongoing discussion whether to publish how to publish the information and things of that nature.
When asked about security at the facility, the Commissioner said there is limited security at the New Horizons Rehabilitation Center, but opted not to disclose what type of security was made available.
There's limited security. That's what all we can for now, the limited security. The police pay periodic check as well to support that security need.
All the juveniles who escaped from the rehabilitation center have been found, and according to police, measures will be put in place to ensure that an incident of that nature does not repeat itself. It was a nail-biting, nerve-wracking game between the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons and the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots in the first match of the 2024 Caribbean Premier League CPL. Antigua Falcons went into bat first, putting 163 for 4 on the scorecard. St. Kitts Nevis Patriots responded with 164 for 9, winning the tournament's first match by 1 wicket. Joel Andrews scored 50 from 30 balls, becoming the leading run scorer for the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. Kyle Myers, the leading run scorer for the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots, made 39 from 24 balls. Of all the bowlers combined, Shamar Springer of the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons took the most wickets, 4 for 29. The first match was played at the Viv Richards Stadium in Antigua. The next 4 games of the tournament will be hosted at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium in St. Kitts. The St. Kitts Nevis Patriots will have 4 consecutive home games. Patriots versus Trimbago Knight Riders on August 31. Patriots versus St. Lucia Kings on September 1. Patriots versus Guyana Amazon Warriors on September 4. And Patriots versus Barbados Royals on September 6. All games begin at 7 p.m. Regionally,
as Trinidad and Tobago continues to suffer from a high level of gun violence, including murders, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says within the last 10 years, the police have seized a large number of illegal firearms and ammunition. TV6 News took the opportunity to ask the Prime Minister about the security of the nation's borders during the post-cabinet media conference this week.
And I'm wondering, I'm sure that there are hard-working persons in Coast Guard, Customs, and so on. But in the next fiscal year, could there be any new measures to be announced to deal with that aspect of the amount, to stem the tide, as it were, of the amount of illegal guns and ammunition flowing into the country?
Well, yes, that's one of the priority actions. You have no idea how much effort and resources the government has put into this issue of confronting the violent criminal element in our country.
The Prime Minister spoke about the budgets under his administration thus far as it prepares for its 2024-2025 financial year, which begins on October 1st.
You would have seen the growth of the national security budget, and in there is reflected a number of initiatives specifically to do what you are asking there for.
Dr. Rowley said that he and other heads of government of CARICOM have their own chat group and referenced a concern raised by one Prime Minister about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That Prime Minister put on the chat that biggest threat to our Caribbean nations is not climate change, but it's violent gang warfare. And within a matter of 10 minutes, the majority of Caribbean prime ministers were on that chat agreeing with that position.
The Prime Minister said he has led CARICOM's discussions with the U.S. government on a key aspect of the war on violent gangs.
And of course, the United States government has listened and they've taken some action. We've said to them, you require to make it more difficult, if not impossible, for persons to export arms from your country into ours and not just rely on us to seal our borders. Because given the nature of our borders and the amount of resources required and the actual item of work you're asking us to do, we cannot build a fence, an impenetrable fence around Trinidad and Tobago.
Dr. Rowley said the government has not given up on its war on gun violence. Jule Brown, TV6 News.
Philip J. Pierre has strongly defended his daughter against allegations leveled by opposition surrogates of impropriety in the Citizenship by Investment Program CIP during an interview on Radio 100 Thursday. Pierre called the accusations, quote, nasty, citing his daughter's limited role in the CIP unit.
My daughter has never voted in St. Lucia. Never.
Really?
Never, really. My daughter has never voted in St. Lucia. My daughter takes no part in the politics of St. Lucia. My daughter is a member of staff with 10 other people. My daughter is not a manager. She's not a supervisor. She's not a coordinator. She's nothing. She works in an office with 10 other people in a unit. My daughter went to the Tapion School. She went to St. Joseph's Convent, and then she went to university in Florida. She has a Bachelor of Applied Science degree.
The Prime Minister detailed his daughter's background and hiring process, stressing she has no authority over CIP applications.
My daughter applied for a job at the CIP unit. She was interviewed like anybody else. She got in-house training on due diligence like anybody else in the unit. My daughter cannot, has not, and is not able to ever. And I want the people who are blogging to who are writing these things to show the proof. She cannot, she has not, and she's not able ever to give any to endorse any application or to be able to approve any application for any CIP applicant.
Prime Minister Pierre challenged his critics to provide evidence of wrongdoing. He called on the leadership of the opposition United Workers' Party to disavow such commentary on social media platforms, a blog post affiliated with the political organization.
The leader of the opposition speaks a lot, he talks a lot, he says a lot of things.
So he hasn't distanced.
He has not distanced himself, right. In the same way, he said a lot of things about me that I've never said, that he can prove I've said. When I say things, I tape it. I can show what I said. They can say a lot, I've never said it. They imply that I said it, or they say I said it, but they can never record that I've said it. So I want to put on record this today. Anybody who can find any proof that my daughter has or is able to approve any application for any ICP kind, I will resign as Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister also called for a higher standard in political discourse, urging opponents to avoid personal attacks on family members.
Internationally,
prosecutors in Venezuela have threatened to issue an arrest warrant for one of the opposition presidential candidates, Edmundo Gonzalez, if he ignores a third summons to appear for questioning on Friday. Mr. Gonzalez has been called to testify about his role in posting online voting data that appears to show he did win last month's election. Meanwhile, opposition supporters have gathered in Caracas as their leader, Maria Corina Machado, came out of hiding to lead a protest against Venezuela's controversial election and the re-election of President Nicolas Maduro, which has been widely denounced as a fraudulent result. The opposition claimed they won a landslide in the election, and they say that Mr. Maduro has stolen victory from them. President Maduro has cracked down on his opponents, arresting hundreds of them. Well, I've been talking about the political crisis in Venezuela to Francisco Rodriguez, who's a professor at the Joseph Corbell School of International Studies at the University of Denver and author of a forthcoming book, Scorched Earth, The Political Economy of Venezuela's Collapse. But first, BBC Mundo's Angel Bermudez gave me an update on the number of people who have been arrested by Venezuela's security forces.
According to the NGO Foro Penal, almost 1,600 people have been arrested in Venezuela since the election night. They say that it brings the total number of people incarcerated in Venezuela for political reasons up to almost 1,800, including 100 minors. Among the detainees, there are several important political figures, like former MPs from the opposition, Freddy Superlano, Williams Davila, Americo de Gracia, and also close collaborators to the opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado, like Perkins Rocha, who was a spokesperson for her campaign and has just been detained last Wednesday.
So it's a big crackdown. Does it look like Maduro has effectively won?
Well, here's the thing. 1 month after the election, the political crisis is still unresolved, and the situation seems to be at a stalemate. Maduro is, the Electoral Council has not yet published the detailed results of the votes, and a sentence by the Supreme Court validating Maduro's alleged victory has been dismissed by the opposition. But also, important countries, left-leaning governments in Latin America, like the one led by Lula da Silva in Brazil and the one led by López Obrador in Mexico, they're still asking for the Venezuelan authorities to publish the detailed results so they can give some credibility to the electoral process.
Okay. Professor Francisco Rodriguez, can I ask you, what is your analysis of what's going on in Venezuela? Can the opposition in any way take power, do you think, after this crackdown from Maduro, even though countries around the world are saying the election was fraudulent?
Yes.
Well, first of all, there's definitely a substantial amount of evidence that Edmundo Gonzalez won. The Venezuelan electronic voting system is actually designed to provide a lot of reliable information, including the printed tally sheets, which have a QR code associated with them. And the opposition has published 83%, more than 83% of these tally sheets, and they give Mr. Gonzalez a very wide margin, so much so that even if all the other 100% of the 17% of the tally sheets, which are not available to the opposition, went in favor of Maduro, he would still have lost the election. So and there's a big credibility problem with the Electoral Council has announced, because they have just announced an aggregate number. They have not provided, as required by law and as customarily done in Venezuela, the voting center level results. So effectively, it very much looks like this was a blatantly rigged election. Now, that said, does this mean that there's going to be political change in Venezuela? Well, up until now, the military leadership has been steadfastly in support of Nicolas Maduro. So we're not seeing any signs of cracks in the military. We are seeing protests, and we are seeing the opposition supporters come out into the streets, but we're also seeing the government cracking down on them with the type of repression that was just described. So I don't think, while there's definitely been a great achievement in terms of the opposition of going against a rigged political system and rigged elections and being able to win and to demonstrate to the international community that they won, and while Mr. Maduro completely lacks any democratic legitimacy as president of Venezuela, it still seems that he continues to have the support of the military.
We begin with something that hasn't happened here in years: deportation flights from Germany to Afghanistan. On Friday, Germany resumed deporting rejected asylum seekers to Afghanistan. For the first time since the Taliban retook power back in 2021, a flight with convicted Afghan offenders took off bound for Kabul. The renewed deportations come as the German government faces pressure to crack down on migration after a fatal knife rampage last week, allegedly carried out by a man who should have been deported.
This was the scene at Leipzig airport just before dawn. Security officials preparing the first deportation flight from Germany to Afghanistan in 3 years. On board were 28 convicted criminals denied permission to remain in Germany. Such flights have been near impossible to arrange since Germany broke off diplomatic relations with Afghanistan after the Taliban violently seized power in Kabul in August 2021.
I had announced that we would also deport offenders back to Afghanistan. We have prepared this carefully without talking about it too much, because such plans only succeed if you make an effort, if you do it carefully and very discreetly. That was carried out today. I would therefore like to thank everyone who helped to make this happen. And it is a clear sign that anyone who commits criminal offences cannot count on us not deporting them, but that we will look for ways to do so, as you can see from this case.
The German government said the deal was not negotiated directly with the Taliban and instead with the help of what they called key regional partners. But they concede that they are also in direct contact with the Taliban.
Our position as the German government is very clear. As long as the general conditions are as they are and the Taliban behave the way they do, there will be no effort to normalize relations with the Taliban. There are contacts on a technical level, especially through our representative office in Doha.
This marks a big change in Germany's approach. The German government has been under pressure to step up deportations of rejected asylum seekers, especially anyone with a violent past. Pressure that's intensified since 3 people were fatally stabbed in Solingen last week. The main suspect was a 26-year-old Syrian asylum seeker who was supposed to be deported. We are continuing to work at full speed to once again enable the return of dangerous persons and serious offenders to Afghanistan and Syria. We will also work together with representatives of the federal states and the biggest opposition party and meet next week to discuss possible further measures. Friday's flight to Kabul was the first in 3 years, and if the German government has its way, it likely won't be the last.
Well, for more now, I want to bring in DW security correspondent Thomas Sparrow. Thomas, good to see you. Let's talk first about the timing here. The German government resuming deportations right after a fatal knife attack. This isn't a coincidence, is it?
The timing is certainly very important here because it comes at a time when many people in Germany, when all political parties are specifically discussing the issue of deportations, especially deportations of failed asylum seekers, and especially deportations of failed asylum seekers from countries like Syria and Afghanistan. And this is the result specifically of the attack in Solingen a few days ago. But it's important to stress that this is probably not a direct result from what happened in Solingen. These kinds of deportation flights are planned with a lot of time in advance, not only because of all the logistics involved here in Germany, also the negotiations that take place in this particular case between Germany and some of the countries in the region where Afghanistan is located. The German government does not recognize the Taliban government, but it has admitted that it had contacts at a technical level, specifically through an office in Doha. So basically what this gives us an impression is that, yes, the timing is obviously relevant, but it's not a direct connection, or at least a direct result from what happened in Solingen. It's something that's been planned now for quite some time.
So why were the deportations stopped in 2021 and then allowed to continue now?
They stopped after the Taliban took power, and they have now resumed. And this has to do with a series, or at least several, security incidents in recent months that have been linked to failed asylum seekers from these countries that we're talking about. And as a result, the German government decided that it was important to restart these deportation flights. The thinking behind that is that Germany's national security outweighs the claim for protection for failed asylum seekers, specifically those who have committed offences, have committed crimes. In fact, the 28 Afghans that were deported now, they're all convicted criminals. They're all Afghan nationals, all with an order for deportation. So the thinking that the German government has indicated is that national security outweighs the claim for protection in these specific cases.
All right, so we've got the deportations resuming this Friday, and just in 2 days, we've got important regional elections here in Germany. Do you see a connection between the deportations and these upcoming elections?
Probably an indirect one, and it has to do with the political debate. Once again, the political debate around migration, about asylum in general, about deportations. That is a debate that, for example, has been particularly important for the far-right Alternative for Germany party, which is leading in the polls in the two regions that are going to vote this Sunday. So the big question here in Germany is to what extent this debate, these decisions are actually going to impact what is going to happen on Sunday in the two German regions in the east.
And Thomas, do you think that we are about to witness deportations from Germany on a wider scale than we've seen in the past?
The German government certainly intends to continue with these deportation flights, but there are many concerns from a political level, from a legal perspective as well. And there are obviously human rights concerns that are particularly important here. Human rights organizations have criticized these deportation flights, saying that Afghanistan is not a safe country for people to return to. And in fact, several politicians here in the country have also voiced their skepticism. So even though the government does want to continue with these flights, it is going to be a difficult process from a political perspective, from a legal perspective as well, and from a human rights perspective. These three elements are very important now when it comes to the political discussion around these deportation flights.
That was the WinFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Cariboury.
Did you you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king. Please drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Rastafari, no, I'm a princess the star. Come next, make a chadaya. Jano. Yo, then, yo, then, my princess gone. Far, far away. And she left.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey shoppers, get ready for the most exciting sale of the year. It's Husker's Furniture and Appliances Extra Major White Sales Event. Extra savings, extra happiness, major deals on major appliances. Enjoy a major 25% off on every major white appliance in store. 25% off on fridges, stoves, small appliances, washing machines, and so much more. And that's not all. Get double cash back on higher purchase of major appliances. Just imagine the savings on your dream dream kitchen, and laundry essentials. Visit Hotspot's Furniture and Appliances today and take advantage of these major deals on major white appliances. Upgrade your home with top quality appliances and enjoy massive savings. Hurry in. These deals won't last long. The extra major white sales event at Hotspot's is happening now. Major deals, major discounts, extra savings, extra happiness. Only at Hotspot's Furniture and Appliances. Visit us today and experience the Hotspot's Furniture and Appliances difference. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out. Hotspot's Furniture and Appliances. Your home, your style, your savings. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Well, it's 12:31. Socrates had to leave. He has an emergency, so that's going to do it for voices for now. We have, don't forget you have Spin Cycle coming up at 1:30. Sponsored by the CPL. But I'll still play you guys some nice music right up until 1:30. In the meantime.